Hello guys, this video will do for all Alfa, Fiat and Lancia turbo diesel engines. These engines are a bit old now, but the principles of working of these timing belts are still very relevant for today's engines and cars. So now here I'm trying to take out the air filter cover. Be sure not to tighten too much the screws because they will get stuck. I actually use my ceramic paste grease on the threads. Here taking out all of the hoses and taking out this little hose that comes from the oil catch can. Yes, these engines have oil catch cans from factory. The air filter is a bit dirty. That is common on these cars because the engine, being a turbo diesel, it sucks a lot of air, so the filter gets really dirty. Pushing out the oil catch can hose to side to make room to take out the timing belt cover or the cam belt cover. This is very easy to do. The space is good on this car to do this. Just taking out all of the screws around the cover. More 2 bolts on the bottom of the cover. An addition that I did on this cover was a little spring right there to help with the cold starts of this delivery pump. I can talk about that on another video dedicated to the delivery pump. The timing belt cover comes out very easily. It's just a matter of doing it right. And here we have 2 markings to align, making sure to take out all of the belts, accessory belts of this engine to reach out to the cam belt. Taking out there the cover for the power steering pump, removing or breaking loose the 3 bolts for the pulley, because I will take out the pulley to gain more access to the alternator. The alternator is the most difficult thing to access on this engine, because to put back together the belt for the alternator you really need 2 persons to do that. More on that later on the video. Now taking out here the tuning of the power steering pump, making sure that it goes all the way to the bottom of the slot. Taking out the belt, making sure the pump is nice and good, taking out the screws and taking out the pulley itself. Yes, it's red, it should not be red, but what are you gonna do? 12 years ago, 15 years ago, everything was red for me. Taking out here the cover for the side of the cam belt, actually. Now here the upper bolt for the alternator. To take out is relatively easy, as you can understand, but to put back in you need to use a long bar, a crowbar for example, and another person to tighten one of the screws, for example this bottom one, and then you have a much more easy assembly. Now taking out the belt, the AC compressor here also I have to remove it. It has 2 leaks, but that is not what I'm doing here. I'm just releasing the belt, the AC pump belt, to gain access to the cam belt itself. Okay, it is very tight, so I will do another thing. I will take out the pulley itself. To take out these screws, I urge you to do this, to massage the screws with a hammer to break them loose before you do it with a spanner or a wrench. This one is busted and the other 3 are good, but the engine spins and I don't have a wrench to put on the center over there. So the impact gun comes out and the 3 screws come out very easily. The fourth one I have to use my special, not special, my special bit, hammer it down. The bolt is garbage anyway, so does not matter. And now with the impact, it's done. As you can see, someone already did try to remove it, and there you go. Taking out the belts, checking out the bearing, and removing the bearing for more access, and I will put a new one. Remember to replace all of the belts and bearings that you have on your assembly. On this engine, these two marks over here, this one and that one on top there on the block of the engine, on the oil pump on this case, they have to meet. So you have to rotate the engine in order to make them meet, okay? Always turn the engine clockwise if it is the case. Some engines are not clockwise. And until you see those two marks pointing at each other, you can stop. And at this point, your delivery pump and your camshaft should also be timed. Just like this. From the angle of the camera, it appears not to be in place. It appears to be a lot more like this for you. But in fact, it is not. You have to be dead on center to see it. One way that you can see it, at this mark corresponds to one of the tooths, and the tooth corresponds to that mark over there. Do not forget that for every turn of the crankshaft, you only rotate half of turn on the camshaft. So this is one turn of the crankshaft and only half of turn of the camshaft. Normally a diesel engine will not stop near the top dead center of the first cylinder. So when I'm doing timing, I know more or less I have to do 1.5 turns to do the top dead center of any engine. But that is not linear for all cars, for all engines. So that is just a way that I do it. Not really advisable to do it like that. Getting here and on point. In here we have the delivery pump pulley. This is the most difficult thing to understand on all turbo diesel cars or diesel cars, because if you get this wrong, even one tooth, the car will not start. Well, that may be very confusing because this mark over here does not coincide with the arrow, as you can see. This is a defect from factory. Yes, that's true. The only guys that knew this were the first guys that did the timing at 90,000 kilometers or 5 years on this case, and they saw that this was a issue. If you rotate one tooth to the other side, it will not coincide with the arrow. It will become on the other side of the arrow. And so this is the correct position of the delivery pump. Just follow this scratch over here, this groove with your screwdriver, and mark it like this. This timing was already done when my sister drove this car by a professional mechanic. He did use paint to mark the position of the cam, but I always like to make sure everything is on the correct factory position. So the correct factory position for this one is a little bit, half a tooth to the left side, advanced, okay? Now we can take out the belt itself. These are the two tensioners. This one does the tensioning. One thing or two that you may ask yourself, why do you have to replace everything despite being in apparently good shape? This one does appear to be in good shape, but as I was rotating it more, I noticed some play, and this one appears to be stucking. So even if you don't feel like it is bad, you should replace them anyway, because you are asking them to do another 90,000 kilometers or 5 years. And that's a lot. It can fail next week or 6 months from now or a year from now. Another thing that you may ask, why on older cars the timing belts were replaced every 90,000 kilometers, and on modern ones it's more than that, 100,000, 120, 150, in some cases 180,000 kilometers on PSA models. And on those models, the initial recommendation was 240,000 kilometers or 10 years, but that did not work, okay? So 180. And the answer is this, a dynamic tensioner. This one you can recognize it is from a multi-jet engine, and as you are stretching the belt, every time the tail backlashes, this tensioner will make sure the tensioning of the belt is always correct, is always good. You don't have excess or peaks of tension on the belt. On this one, of course, you don't have that. You have a stationary tension on the belt, and of course, every time you have backlash, it has no way to go. On this one, dynamic one, this one will suffer that backlash. So that is why on modern cars you have a longer time service for your belts. Starting the assembly, I'm putting here the new bearings. This is the bottom one, the stationary one, and I have to do it with a normal 17mm socket wrench. It appears to be required to have a medium long 17, but I don't have it. So here you go, don't forget it. And now the tensioning bearing goes on there, a little bit tight, but it fits. Here on the assembly, before you assemble, you have to make sure that this cock for the delivery pump is on the right spot, because as it is under pressure, she likes to move like this. So you have to see the mark here, the arrow over there, and right beside the arrow I did a scratch mark, and it has to be aligned with that. So what I have to do with both hands is, one, to hold down to this position, and with the other hand to put the belt in place. This really is the most difficult part of this job, because the pulley, the pump pulley, is always moving. It will really help if the pulley had some lock on it, like a TDI engine for example, but it does not. So we have to be constantly fighting the pulley position with the belt. So it's not a problem if you don't do it the first time, but beware. To put the belt in place, it depends really on the amount of play that you have on the belt itself. On this case, let me try it like this, because I don't have a lot of space to put my hands with the camera. This belt is really loose, but it is just the way it is on this engine. And I have the idea that it can help me to position the pump pulley in place. Having the belt around the crankshaft pulley, I can stretch it a bit and pass it through the delivery pump pulley. Next, what I like to do is to do a test run, just to put some tension on the belt. I think the engine is timed, but let's test that. Like I told you, in my house I don't have a lot of tools, but I have enough to do this. Just need a bit more space. There you go. Now this, I think, will be enough to spin the engine to see if the timing of the engine is correct. Let me take a peek here. Okay, I think so, but let's see. I will turn the engine and see down there, up here, and on the delivery pump. So spinning the engine, you have to spin it at least one turn of the crankshaft, and as you are approaching the marks on the crankshaft, you align them and then see on the delivery pump and on the camshaft if it's aligned. So on the crankshaft it is aligned, on the pump also, but as you can see it's off. It's no good. So I have to do again. On the delivery pump is okay, but up here is no good. So I have to advance one tooth to the right side.
That's why you need to spin this by hand. First of all, to see if the engine spins freely, and second of all, to see if it's on timing. So this is not correct. It's normal to happen on these diesel and turbo diesel engines, not to be on point on the first try.
So here we go again. In here, I hope I can show you better what I'm trying to do. I'm using the crankshaft as an anchor, if I can say so, and the belt having tooths, it will bite on the delivery pump. So in this way, I'm fairly sure it will be a much easier, faster, and better way to do this timing. So here we go, stretched and tightened. And another turn of the engine, at least one turn of the crankshaft. Normally, at least two. Depends really on the engines that you are working on. Some engines really need more than one turn. I already do engines timings that I don't turn the engine at all, but I don't advise you to do that.
Now it's all good. You have to take account the tensioning of this delivery pump on the belt. It's always like this on these engines. NTDI engines, the early ones, and everything diesel and turbo diesel, not normally works like this. Now about the tensioning of this belt, normally you have a tool to clamp here on the belt, and as you are doing more force here on the tensioner, the tool tells you what is the correct spot of the tension of the belt. I do not have that tool, but I do have experience, and I know by the movement of the belt that it is a bit tight, okay? And if it is too tight, the belt will sink. Yes, the belt will do a noise when the car is at idle that appears to be really it, and it is the belt singing, the belt is making noise. If that is happening, you just have to back off a little bit the tension of the belt. You don't have to redo everything again. So it's time to assemble everything. I will take care of these leaks over here, and oil leaks and coolant leaks. But for now, that is it. Every time you do this job, you need to replace all of the belts and pulleys. Everything that you may encounter on your way, I advise you to replace. I am not replacing here the water pump because it does not make part of the timing belt. And the only thing I will do is to check for bearing problems and leaks. It does not have them. And I will replace the antifreeze. I will do the paraflu up again, as I was doing for all these years on this car. So new belts all around, new bearings, new timing, and that's it, guys. I hope you like this video. I hope you can consider sharing this with your friends. Hit that like button on the video below, and see you next time, guys. Bye.